Like the spots.
So, Lewis Howes with SportsNetworker.com here, hanging out with Bill Guertin, the 800-pound gorilla, and in my mind, one of the top sports ticket sales consultants, gurus, whatever you want to say, experts. So, tell me a little bit about, first off, how you got started in ticket sales in the sports industry, and kind of who you're working with currently.
That's cool. I had 25 years in radio sales. It was the same kind of sales that ticket sales people had.
Really glad.
I wanted something more fun than radio because radio hasn't been very fun anymore. But it's a great training ground for the very best people in the sports industry. And so 7 or 8 years ago, I was exposed to the folks at the Chicago White Sox. Tom Sheridan really kind of turned me on to the fact that there are people that do this professionally, helping sports ticket salespeople on a regular basis. And from that, I was able to land a job with Dave Dowd in the Chicago Bulls. And from that, I've been able to do now over the last 18 months over 30 different professional sports teams in all the different major sports.
The NFL, MLB, NHL, everywhere.
All of them.
Everywhere, okay. So he's pretty credible. So give us like your top, like what are some of the biggest mistakes that like teams are making today that why they're only getting half the stadiums full or not even half? Like why are they only doing that?
Well, it's not as much a mistake as it's they're stopping short. So many people who are out there are taking no for an answer. And I don't mean to make it sound like they're failing in this because there's a lot of people that really don't have the money. They say, I don't have the budget, right? I can't afford that. I have to buy food or I have to do these other things. But if we take the first no as the definitive no and say, oh, okay, thank you very much, we're really leaving some money on the table. There are 3 ways in which I want to suggest maybe some people continue a conversation because that's what sales ought to be. It ought to be a conversation with 2 people, just like we're doing here. When somebody calls, there's always this adversarial relationship. People say, oh, a salesperson trying to sell me. But if there's a conversation that goes on, the first no should only be that first foray into whatever the next part of the conversation would be. So I've got 3 things that I want to suggest to your people on Sports Network that are Sports Networker that might be something that would be worthwhile to them. When somebody says no to you, there are 3 things I want to suggest that you might say, and I've written them down just to be sure that I get them right.
Okay.
Number 1 is, I didn't know if you were aware of this, but ... If somebody says no, then you say, well, I didn't know if you were aware of this, but did you know that we have free parking if you're a season ticket holder?
Oh, so kind of upselling without even selling.
Well, just telling them what they may not be aware of, just to continue the conversation.
Freebie stuff, some other
add-ons.
Right.
But you have to fill in the but ... whatever it is for your team.
Okay.
Second thing is, before you go, can I ask you one thing? And you might ask something like, is there something about our team that you don't necessarily care for? No. So that you continue the conversation, just doesn't stop at no.
Just continuing.
Right.
So keep them talking. It doesn't matter.
Continue the conversation.
Okay.
And the third thing would be, not a problem. Can we keep you on file just in case something else should come up? Because we don't want people to just decide that they're never ever going to be a supporter of the team.
Right.
No doesn't mean no forever. It just means not now.
Wow.
And so we want people to be able to do that. And hopefully that's been helpful to what you've got on Sports Network.
Very cool. You know, I've heard that it takes 7 to 12 touches or points of contact to actually make a sale with someone. So I don't know if that's a real fact or not, but it's kind of what you're talking about. You just got to be consistent and keep the conversation going. So where can people find you online, Bill?
They can find me at www.the800poundgorilla.com. And I love the work that you do. I'll be continuing to do it for a long time.
Thanks a lot, Bill. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Thanks.